Let's talk about a fundamental shift that's happening in the world of search right now. You've probably noticed it. Instead of just getting a list of links, search engines are giving us direct, synthesized answers. And you know what? This means our old goals have to change too. Today, we're diving into a new, absolutely vital asset for this era, citable content. We're going to explore why becoming a trusted source isn't just a good idea, it's the new key to visibility.
So this really brings up the million-dollar question for anyone creating content. It's not just, how do I rank anymore? The real question is, how do I become the source that an AI actually chooses to cite? And that is exactly what we're going to break down here today.
All right, let's get right to the answer. What is citable content? Well, think of it as content that is specifically engineered, built from the ground up, to be quoted, referenced, and reused by AI search engines. The goal here isn't just to get a click. No, the goal is to become a fundamental, trusted reference that a language model can rely on to build its own answer.
To really get a handle on this concept, we have to understand the context. The entire game is changing. The fundamental goal of search is shifting away from just winning a click to a much more durable, much more valuable goal, earning a citation.
Let's look at this side by side, because the contrast is pretty stark. Traditional SEO, for years, was a game of persuasion. We were trying to convince algorithms to rank us. But AI search? It's built for language models. And these models, well, they don't really care about persuasion. They demand precision. The new goal isn't just to show up in a list. It's to become the definitive source that's actually used in the answer.
And here's the economic impact in a nutshell. We are moving from a world where a user sees 10 blue links, 10 chances to win, to a world where they get one single synthesized answer. In this new environment, being one of the few sources used to build that answer is pretty much the only way to guarantee you'll be seen.
Okay, so if becoming a source is the goal, what actually makes a page citable? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break down the anatomy of a citable page and look at the specific elements AI systems are actively searching for.
So based on research and a lot of observation, AI systems consistently favor content with 4 core attributes. First, clear, unambiguous definitions. Second, explicit factual statements, no fluff. Third, a neutral, almost reference book style of tone. And fourth, strong signals about who the author is and why they're a credible source on the topic.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Ambiguity is the enemy. You have to remember, AI models are designed to be conservative. If they have to guess what you mean or try to interpret creative language, you know what they'll do? They'll just skip your content and move on to a clearer, more direct source. It's just not worth the risk for them.
Now, beyond your writing style, the on-page structure is huge. It's how you signal your intent to an AI. Technical things like article schema help identify the content and the author. FAQ blocks are great because they mirror the question and answer format that AI itself uses. And clearly attributed fact snippets, they provide the exact kind of verifiable information these models are built to find. Now, the good news here is that this isn't about throwing out the entire playbook. Building citable content actually aligns perfectly with Google's existing guidelines for helpful content and what they call EEAT. That stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. This is really just an evolution of those principles, but with a laser focus on absolute clarity. Okay, so we've covered the why and the what. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about the how, with a 5-step framework for engineering your content to be citable right from the start.
So let's walk through this process. Step 1, be specific. Define the single question you want to be quoted for. Step 2, write that answer as if it's from a reference book, assuming it's going to be lifted completely out of context. Step 3, support that main answer with structured facts and lists, things that are easy for an AI to parse. Step 4, make sure your on-page technical signals like schema are all aligned with your content. And finally, step 5, and this is maybe the most important, prioritize clarity above all else. You can add creative nuance later, but the core facts have to be unmistakable.
Okay, let's zoom out one last time and talk about the core principle here. Why is this mindset so critical for any long-term digital strategy? Well, it really all comes down to the difference between building a durable asset versus just chasing a temporary metric. Think about it this way. Rankings fluctuate. We all know this. They can change overnight with one algorithm update, and the traffic they bring can be pretty fleeting. Citations, on the other hand, they compound. When your content becomes a trusted reference for AI, you're not just getting temporary traffic, you are building a long-term asset that permanently establishes your authority in a space.
If you take just one thing away from this explainer, please let it be this. In this new era of AI-driven search, the loudest or even the most persuasive voice doesn't win, the clearest one does. Clarity is the new authority.
This shift really requires a new focus, moving from just publishing content to intentionally engineering it to become a source. The future of online visibility is going to belong to those who can provide clear, citable, and trustworthy content that serves as a reliable reference for this next generation of search.